To the newest episode of Awful, Okay, Awesome, the show that is about stories of trials and tribulations turned into passion and purpose through persistence and perseverance. As you can see, we love alliteration here. This episode is brought to you by Black Aswad Coffee. Black Aswad is the brand that's redefining your morning ritual with rich, bold flavors and a commitment to mental wellness. If you're looking for a coffee that fuels both body and mind, Black Aswad is your go-to. Learn more at www.blackaswadcoffeeco.com. Thanks for being here. Arrived in the corporate world, but something different called to her. Now, she's one of the most top producing real estate agents with over $50 million in sales annually. And we're live with Zita Billmann. You can scale and grow with much more peace and ease. You don't need all the techie. You don't need all the crazy. You just need to do what's in alignment for you, which is exactly why I brought on Zita. Zita, as I was telling her before we hit live, is a name that is on everybody's lips. If you know a real estate agent, chances are they've mentioned Zita's name as somebody they aspire to, which is not to anything that's a surprise, because today she's going to tell you the exact marketing strategy to how she's reached 7 million in sales a year. And we're going to share some things that you might be feeling as a listener or an audience member, but like we go through it too. The high producers, the high earners, we go through it too. And we're going to share all the nitty gritty about that. Listen till the end because I have something for you. Zita's going to share more about how you can get even more information so that you can maybe next year start on that first, maybe if you're just an emerging real estate agent, on that like first 6-figure year in your first year. It's possible for you. So we've got some really great things ahead, but I'm going to go on and on and on. But before I go on and on, Zita, I want you to tell them who you are, what brought you to where you are today, and what you do, and why should they trust what you have to say?
Yeah. Wow, that's a loaded question.
I know that's like 3-part question.
Yeah. So who am I? I mean, who I am first. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I have 2 girls that are just like everything's me. It almost chokes me up when I think about it. They're like the best thing ever. But married 25 years, met my husband in high school. Like, I'm very, family's everything to me. And it's the root of my soul existence and my motivation in life. So that drive has brought me to, I believe, where I am today in my real estate career. So I'm happy to say I'm the #1 agent in Western PA. And I sell on average around $50 million in real estate each and every year by myself. I do have the world's best chef's kiss assistant, Annie. She's the best. I'm thrilled to have her, but she makes my life that much easier. But having a really strong assistant makes all the difference. But having really great systems in place make a huge difference. And I think having those things as a foundation is super important. Mindset is super important. But above all of that is being your authentic self, like really coming down to what can I do to help someone's life be better in real estate? And for me, that has been, I feel, what has driven me to connect with so many great people, because they always say, Zita, we hear everything about you is that you're super direct. You're very honest. You give really candid, authentic feedback. And that's just who I am. I can't help myself. So sometimes when, people may or may not want to hear the truth about whether they're buying or selling, what they should be buying or selling, I'm there to share the truth. And because I at least know at the end of the day, they will respect me for the information that I've shared. But doing all of that, you have to have the knowledge, right? You have to consistently read and build upon it and study the market to be able to give solid authentic feedback. And I feel that I have done that from day one in my career. And that is where I feel like my strong connection is to the community, where they say, we know Zita as a top real estate agent that lists a lot of homes, but she sells a lot of homes, right? So Zita sold. That's the way I look at it, is that people know I sell homes. I think anyone can put listings up, but it's about putting them up and knowing like they're quickly sold. And that's because I feel that I'm a pricing expert, but that's from the consistent studying of what's going on in the market so that I can be the absolute best I can be to serve my clients.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely it does. And I think that that is why when we started to connect on social media, and first of all, the power of social media, Zita and I were kind of like chuckling because she wasn't present. And now all of a sudden, as of July of this year, she's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to learn it. And it went from learning even how to like put a post up to now she's present twice a day. But that is the power of social media. And that's what I've just always like speaking this from the mountains, is that you can literally feel like you know a person before you've ever even met them. And that is how I get a lot of my business as a mom of 7 kids. I don't go out and network a lot. I'm many times in the stage of life with a baby and a toddler at the same time. So it's not necessarily easy to get out. And I just am a homebody. I'm an extroverted introvert. I recharge by being at home. So for me, social media has been the backbone of my business, which has not been the case for you. So that's why I always love to bring on people who are like, I just started using social media, but also here's my exact marketing strategy to how I got to 50 million years. And I haven't even been using social media, but here's why I'm using it.
Right.
So, but we're in alignment because I think we both believe in not the energy of like, I got to get new leads. I got to get new leads. I need new leads. I need to grow my audience, grow, grow, grow. It's about nurturing and taking care of the people that have already trusted you with themselves and their lives and their businesses. And then it grows from there. So before we get to my follow-up question of like, okay, well, what made you think that it was time to get started on social media? What are the key things that you do advise young realtors or even young entrepreneurs to do that doesn't even have to do with social media?
Yeah. So, the way that I see social media is a tremendous opportunity for the future of real estate. I think it's certainly present now. My biggest thing with social media is that I hope that other realtors will see that being present on social media, I think it will be super important, but making sure you don't miss the mark on connecting in your local community, because you have to remember, yes, so many people are on social media, right? But think about, are your parents on social media or my parents on social media? Maybe a little bit, and maybe they're on Facebook a little bit, but are their day and age of clients, are they looking on social media to find a realtor? Maybe in some markets, maybe, right? And I'm not saying that they're not, but I look at statistics like such as in 2023, the average home seller, the age of the average home seller was 60 years old. That's my client right there. That's my typical seller, I should say. Because I work with families of all age groups. So it's not specific, but I would say I do target certain areas and neighborhoods where people have lived in their home 20 years, 25 years. So those homeowners, they look to who's an expert in their market, in their neighborhood, who's touching their address, right? So for me, I try to stay very connected to my audience where I want to list and sell properties. So if I'm hoping that the homeowners in those specific neighborhoods are looking on social media to find an agent, I think I would be really missing the boat. So for me, and for any other realtors where you want to increase your price point. So to me, that's where I think that next level is, there's a ton of young buyers and sellers and I say young, I mean, I just, I would say that to me, I'd say anyone like under maybe the age of 40, right? Roughly might be someone that they're very in tune with looking for someone on social media as a real estate agent. But I think that when you get the buyers and sellers that maybe in the next generation, then maybe they're not as connected to social media for everything that they need, like the younger generation. So I think it's really important to have that balance. And for me, I've just really connected to my local community through schools, sports, families, specific neighborhoods. Like I like that hometown feel. I'm a very like boutique type of person. So I like that level of service. So I like to give that level of service. So I think I connect with those homeowners really well and buyers really well that way. And I just saw that at this point that I think it makes sense for me to open up the opportunity to also connect with home buyers and sellers that are on social media, because I think even for myself, if I want to grow my business to maybe 60 million, how can I do that? I think social media is a way for me to potentially grow my business another 10 million, right?
Yeah.
Because there's only so much I can do in my hyper local market. But if I have families that are moving from another state, I think to me, that's an opportunity that I see as present, and social media, I think, can make that happen. So I would love to engage with families online. And I think that there's a lot of realtors that are getting to the market that are hyper focused on social media, which is amazing. I think they should 100% do that, but also should have a balance of being present in your local market so that when you go to the grocery store, people know you. When you're at the football game on Friday night, people know you. You want to be recognizable, and also specifically in neighborhoods that you want to work within. Because if they don't know you there, how do you expect to grow in your local market and be an expert and be known?
I think
So
you're absolutely right, and I actually completely agree with marrying the two, as you're saying. What I've found really works for me is I will make that initial connection like in person, maybe somebody I meet at a shoot or at the kids' school, or I'm involved in the PTG, or I didn't even know that they were following my stuff, right? And then I'm so present on social media that I'm top of mind between those years that we might not even see each other for years, or we might not even see each other for months, but I'm consistently a presence in trying to bring value through social media, so that when, let's say, a holistic wellness or beauty practitioner needs a marketing agency, Marta does that, because we promote that through Media the Creative Agency, who produces a show. And now I'm hoping, with me having recently been licensed as somebody who sells life insurance and somebody who helps families with their future of investments, and being vocal and bringing value about that through my personal profiles, so that I can be at home more with the baby and the toddler. It's like, oh yeah, Marta does that because that's what she talks about on social media. And then, like you, I can make those genuine connections out in the community and help the way that I can, without feeling like I need to sell myself out there. I'm just creating connections, right? And
mhm.
then they get on social and they're getting that value about what I do. So I'm not like a walking billboard whenever I'm out there like handing out business cards, because I know some people don't feel comfortable about that. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that there's, about me having a billboard or like,
No,
where
not
you're,
about you having a billboard. I love your billboards. I
thanks.
just have, you look beautiful. The photography's on point. What I mean is that oftentimes people they're out in the community and they're getting involved or they're being social. They don't necessarily feel comfortable being like, hey, by the way, I do this. If you ever need help with this, let me know. And so I find that it's a great way to partner it when you could just make those genuine connections when you're out in the community. And then if you connect with them on social media every day, you're present talking about what you do, and you can make that connection without feeling like you're directly selling to people. What do you think of that, about that?
I definitely think that having the balance is super important, because people sometimes like to, I always say that people will look me up on social media before I actually meet with them. So I would expect them to, they want to know like who I am a little bit. Like I would expect them to go to my website as another extension of who I am, or maybe that's where they found me first, right? They
Yeah.
looked on some real estate website. It's connected them to my personal website. Then they might bounce over onto Facebook and Instagram to say, how present is Zita really in the market, because she's saying it in her website, she's saying it online, but we want to see how that translates over. So I think they all interconnect. And I just think that people want to know that you're approachable, right? That
Yeah.
it's real, that it's, again, it's about the authenticity, right? So I feel like that anyone that meets me or maybe thinks they know me, right? I think that if they could go through any of my social profiles or anything about me, or just see my history or meet me in person, I think it all connects. Like, I'm the
Yeah.
same person that they see online is the same person that they meet in person. So I do think that it's all an extension of who we are on different levels, because I will say that, like, I consider myself a little bit more of a private person. I never really did social media because that's a piece of my life,
Mhm.
like outside of work, that I've really valued as being kind of just private, right? Like,
Yeah.
to bring people into my inner space, I've just kind of kept that buffer because my life is so, available to everyone, right? Like, you can
Yeah.
find everything out about me that you want to know or don't want to know or whatever, right? I mean, even my kids through school, through the years, they would say, "Oh, mom, everyone knows you," or I come to the game, people know you, or I'd meet people in the soccer field and they say, "Oh, I've been getting your newsletter for 10 years." Like, you know what I mean? Like, "Oh, you're Zita
Mhm.
Bill." Like, I thought
Yes.
I've known you and now I'm meeting you, right? So
Yes.
it's just kind of funny, but like, I don't view myself that way. Like, when people are like, "Oh, I know who you are." Like, that's just not how I see myself. You know, I'm just some girl over here just
Yes.
hustling and selling some real estate and, just trying to love my family. I mean,
And that
that's
comes
really,
through, which I think is wonderful.
no, thanks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's really what's about. But I feel like now, because people are so intrigued with social media, right? At a whole new level than I felt like that's ever even prior to. I mean, to me, like, this year, it's very been present. It's been on my mind, right? Of something like, I need to integrate this into my business. And just because I want to be more um, connected with
Mhm.
more people that maybe don't know me yet, or maybe
Yeah.
people that think that they may want to connect with me on certain levels. And I have just been finding this like burning desire to now help other people, help, meaning other agents, and help them grow, because, fortunately for me at this point in my career, I'm thrilled to sell what I sell every year. I'm really lucky. I have amazing systems in place. I know each and every year that I'm going to do around the same ballpark, maybe a little more,
Mhm.
maybe a little bit less, but it's okay. I mean, it's market driven, but I know every year I'm going to pretty much have a similar year than I've had the prior year. And if I keep doing the same things that I'm doing, right? If I want to grow, not
Mhm.
just, on paper, but grow um, just internally, right? Like
Yeah.
myself, and keep growing with the business, and also be in a position where I can help other agents grow their business. To me, that gives me joy, right? It brings me a sense of joy that I feel like it's, when people are saying, "Zita, how do you do it? How
Mhm.
do you actually like sell what you sell in a market where an average price point is 250,000? How do you sell $50 million in real estate?" Because Pittsburgh is not like, a market where our average price point is 1.5 million, like it is in a lot of other markets across the country.
Mhm.
So, for me, there's that element of, okay, hey, now you got a connection on social media. Now what do you do? Right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you take that client from social media or from a website or from a lead from anywhere, any source, and say, how do I actually convert that to business, long-term clients and friends? Like, how do you make
Mhm.
that translation? And I think that's the one element that I feel like I can really help other realtors with, is really making that connection. And like, okay, I got the listing. Like, I mean, I have the listing appointment. How do I win it? How do I know I'm going to get it? Like, how do I
Mhm.
know if I'm going in there, I'm interviewing against two or three other agents? How do I know if I'm going to get it? How prepared
Mhm.
should I be? And everybody presents differently. I see that. I talk to so many people, and my style, I just feel, is different. I'm
Yeah.
I'm very much a conversational person
Yeah.
at listing appointments. And I go into my mindset, it's all about mindset for me, but I go into every single listing appointment saying, this is my listing.
Mm.
Like if I'm going, that's my listing. And when we're talking about it, I'm saying to the client, whenever I come back for photos or when I come for staging or when we get to that point, this is how we'll do this. Right. So we're
Right.
already forecasting ahead because I know it's my listing. Otherwise, I feel like if I'm not going in there with that mindset, then I'm not prepared going in.
And that's, oh, sorry, but
No, 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 that's
that's
really,
who
yeah.
marketing works for, because marketing can only do so much, right? Then what do you do with it whenever they, like you said, when they get to you? And I
Mhm.
think, first of all, your reputation precedes you. People call you because you have the reputation that they can just relax. It's going to get sold. It's going to get sold because Zita knows her stuff. And so I want Zita to be my real estate agent. And then also, just the way that you handle leads is perfect, because so many times people get the leads and then it's almost as if the opportunity is squandered. And because it's that conversation of how do you handle those leads, like you just said, is such a big part of it. And I think the saying is, you could spend 6 months to try to get a client and you can lose them in 0 seconds.
Mhm.
It's really like a beautiful blend of, you have to know your stuff like you do, you have to take care of your clients, which you do, and you have to be referable, which you are, and then that marketing, that's what who marketing is for. But if you're unclear about all those things, then that groundwork needs done, I feel like. Don't you think? Interrupt this episode, but I just wanted to remind you that this episode is brought to you by Black Aswad Coffee. It's seriously smooth. It's the kind of coffee that keeps you focused and grounded. And if you haven't tried it yet, what are you waiting for? Now enjoy the rest of the show.
Most definitely. I mean, I wish I could like take the realtors with me on a listing appointment and
Yeah.
say like, this will help you get the listing, right? Like, yes, you need to do these 10 things right. You can email people every day, you can mail neighborhoods, you know, you can be on social media, but once you get in front of the customer, then what?
Yeah.
That for me is easy. Like I just, it's just natural for me when
It's
I go.
natural for you. Yeah.
It's just when I go in and I meet with people, I met with clients this morning. I just met them, this couple, they're 93 years old. Their kids flew in to help them get their
Oh,
house ready. She was like all nervous about, like her mom and nervousness about selling the house. I mean, it was like as soon as I saw her mom, it was like we gave each other a big hug. It was like her calmness was gone, right?
yeah.
She wasn't nervous about me coming in as this aggressive realtor and trying to tell her to pack up all her chutchies. It was me helping them through a family decision and helping them get where they need to be so that they're safe,
Yeah.
and letting her know it's okay and having a sense of comfort and me being sensitive to that. Not, it wasn't about me saying, I want to get the listing and I want to talk
Exactly.
about it. My listing paperwork was left on the table in a folder. I was like,
Yeah.
we'll get to that when the timing's right. Right now, we're relationship building. Right now, I'm trying to help you and give you all the connections you need to get the house ready. Here's a painter, here's a plumber, here's a flooring guy, here's all the things you need to help prepare the house. Let's get this stuff done first, and then we'll meet again once this is ready, because I'm not thinking, I need you to sign this listing paperwork now.
Right.
I don't need that right now. I said,
Right.
I don't need this paperwork until we're ready to go to the market. And we'll
Right.
get there because I'm not afraid that they're not going to hire me. They're hiring me, right?
Right.
That's my feeling, is when I leave any listing, is that's my listing.
Yeah.
So it's up to me to stay in touch with them and continue to build that trust. And I think that that's what's, I feel like many agents may feel like, I need to get that listing paperwork signed today because I want to make sure it's my client and I can count on that for next year. And I understand that's all comes with, you know, you want to get the listing, you want to
Yeah.
be able to earn an income. I get that. But once you have patience with that and you start building that, the listings just come.
Yeah.
The clients just come because people are automatically attracted to that confidence and automatically attracted to the trust that
Mhm.
they feel when they're with you, right?
Yeah,
So
when you don't make it about like I've got to get this sale, that is, I think I'm with you with like I'm all about the mindset. I'm all about also the energy, and that is just that energy is like a stringent, forced energy. And as much as I love to talk about money as a financial rep, when it's about the money, yes, you should never be afraid to ask, and you should have rates that prove that are aligned with your worth because you're worth of so much, worthy of so much. But when it's like the I need the money, that energy is off. Even if you don't say it, they'll feel it, and it's just not going to
no
feel right
doubt.
for anyone. And it just that doesn't close sales for sure.
It doesn't. And I will tell you, honestly, my roots getting into real estate, um, when I got in my first year in real estate, I made $14,000. I just came off of a corporate job with a company car. We had two babies. We just built a house, and I quit my job because I was unhappy in the
Mm-hmm.
corporate world. Got into real estate. My first year, my husband's like, "You seriously need to make money, or we're going to be putting a for sale sign in our front yard." Like
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have any, like we had just enough to like pay our bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or barely. So,
Right.
um, you know, I knew that instinctually it was the right fit for me. And I knew if I just hung in there that I would learn and grow. And thankfully I hung in there and
Yeah.
it
Thank God.
worked.
Right.
But I mean, even at that point when I wasn't making any money, essentially $14,000, and then you have to pay taxes and right.
But
Uh,
hey, I'm always like, be appreciative of every dollar. So I think that's amazing. That was definitely something to
well,
be
I mean,
celebrated. Any money
yes.
is
So
something to be
I made
celebrated.
something. So
Yeah.
when I made that, it only motivated me more,
Mm-hmm.
but never, ever, ever was my mindset about me and the need to make 20,000 or 25,000 or
Yeah.
whatever it was. It was always about learning, being better, being an asset, growing, being professional, and then saying to myself, "Uh, this just feels good to me.
Yeah.
It's going to work." So I just felt like it was going to work. And going to work was, I'm going to get sales because they'll
Yeah.
work because I'm being true to who I am and I'm genuinely helping people make good choices. And if I do that, I'm ultimately going to make money. Right.
Yeah.
So I never thought about, I'm going to say, this is a good house. So you buy it so that I could get paid. Never.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. That's never, ever, ever been the premise of anything I've done. It's always been the customer first and then the business comes with it. Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's led me to where I am
I
with
get
that mindset.
spiritual about it too, where it's like, God, just show me what the path is. I will walk it faithfully, and the money will follow because I know that God's abundance is everlasting and you will always be provided for no matter what the human economy is doing out there. It's just you continue to be aligned in your highest self, your spiritual self, and everything else will follow. I've been in the place
Yes.
where I'm like, I need this many clients at this rate, da 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 da, and then this will allow this, da 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 da, and do the backwards math. And it's like, it's not fun. What the hell are you an entrepreneur for if you are like stressing yourself out like that? You know, you might as well go get a job who you know, like that, you know, is going to pay you so you don't have to worry about that stuff. So don't do that to
Yeah.
yourself. Have fun with
But
it.
that limits you. I think that like if you say, I'm going to go get a job that's going to pay me
Yes.
on Friday, right? But
Right.
when you have that entrepreneurial mindset,
Right.
you believe in yourself because you know what you're capable of, right?
Right.
And if you shift your mindset to, I can do this. And I
Mm-hmm.
think any realtor out there can do what I'm doing. They can
Yeah.
do it. It's not to say I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else. I'm not better than anyone else. It's none of those things. And I never had, it wasn't like my mom was in the business or my aunt, nobody. Like I literally got in knowing zero in real estate, zero background in real estate. And I'm self-taught. Like I wanted to do it because I knew what it was like in that job, getting a paycheck every Friday that I was unhappy in. I knew I didn't want to be there. And if I wanted to do something that I really felt really moved me internally, and that was genuinely helping people in a way that I felt excited me through real estate, that I could be successful at it. I could see other people that were successful at it. And I'm like, I can do this. I know
Mhm.
I can do this. If I just stick with it and I continue to learn and grow, I can do great things. So sticking with it is half the battle, but making sure you put really good systems in place, being
Yes.
really good to your people, making sure that you have enough knowledge that you can share with them, that they respect you and they will refer you. And professionalism, great follow up, great marketing, all of those things, reading the room, all of those things, they all matter. It's a total package of all those things that bring together a really good real estate agent. And I think it's possible for anyone if they really can bring all of those things together. And that's kind of where my drive has been
Yes, I
feeding me
saw
these
that.
days. And so
And
I started. Yeah.
speaking of which, we're going to tell you how you're going to get all those answers with Zita. But first, we have a word from our sponsors, which you are going to recognize and know very well if you watch the show. And take a look. Enjoy the rest of the show. It's me, guys. I'm the sponsor. It's me.
I love it. I love your curly hair. It's so cute.
Oh, thanks. So as promised, and this is why we said watch till the end. Zita's going to tell you how you can get the exact marketing strategy to potentially reaching those $50 million years in sales. How can they find more information about this, Zita?
Yeah. So I'm like super excited because I just brought it's coming out to the market next week, Tuesday. What is that, October 29th? Is it 28th? 29th?
It
My goodness.
is. It's the 29th. Yeah.
Is it? Okay, thanks for your help. Tuesday the 29th at 9 a.m. I am dropping my realtor boot camp. And it's basically a self-paced, step-by-step guide on everything I've done with my business, from starting it, building the foundation, to growing it, to scaling it. So I
That's
am
so
sharing all
exciting.
of my behind the scenes
So
secret
smart.
sauce, if you will, with anyone that's interested. So it's really, it's not a, I would say, like, I didn't like do a video or anything like that. But there's going to be a couple things coming. I have some free resources in there and things like that. But I wanted it to be self-paced because I feel I didn't want this, first of all, I guess, like a pressure of like people feeling like they got to be in this class with Zita, right? Because sometimes I feel that maybe people that they think they know me or they don't know me, maybe on some level there's this, I don't know. I don't want to I don't know if it's competition or intimidation. I don't know what the mix is, or maybe it's a little bit of both. But I would hope that realtors embrace it, because I'm sharing, like, this has been my life for 16 years. These are systems that have really, really worked for me. And I'd love to share them with people, other realtors that can grow their business, make a difference in their own household, so that they can, be really great at what they do and increase their income, because it makes their life better, right? So they can travel and do the things that they want to do, and do the things that they need to do. And I'd love to be a part of that. So my realtor boot camp is coming out on Tuesday at 9
It's
a.m.
so exciting.
And yeah, I've been working on it for months and just pulling all of the data from my brain onto paper is really hard. Like, really, when I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like 64 pages of just content, of just stuff that I've been doing over the years that just has made my business what it is today. So I hope people love it, enjoy it, embrace it, use it, and see their own business explode, and give me feedback. Like I'd love to know, like, how can I help you more? It's so I think I'm going to probably do some type of little class, answering some Q&As, like once people go through the guide, to say, like, what questions do you have? Because sometimes people are better at reading stuff on their own and their own time. And then sometimes people are better one-on-one. So I want to maybe give a little balance of, hey, check it out,
Yeah.
implement. If you need some help, more one-on-one, I think I'm going to do like a little guided Q&A.
That sounds
to go
awesome.
through.
I
Yeah.
think what a wonderful opportunity. Again, I know a lot of people would love to get to the place where you're at. And so, I mean, that's phenomenal that you're doing that for people. And something else that's going on the 29th, first of all, if you're a budding realtor, definitely check out Zita's course. Not course, but just, what would you call it? Just bundle of goodness.
Yeah, bundle of goodness is so great. It's called Realtor Boot Camp. So
Realtor boot
I
camp.
would call it, it's a 63-page guide on step-by-step, broken down from start, if you're brand new, just getting started, to starting to grow your business. And then if you're like, I want to scale my business, it's kind of part 1, 2, and 3. Just kind of walking them through 16 years of where I am, how
That's
I got there.
awesome. And then the other thing that's going on the 29th, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. October is. For those of you who watch and listen regularly, I lost my mom to breast cancer essentially 2 years ago. It had spread to different kinds of cancers, but that's ultimately what it was. And so I am partnering with Hair Enhancements. We are having an event and we're honoring 15 women who have either gone and they're watching over us, or they fought the fight and won the fight, or they're going through it. Kim Gable will be there from KDKA to feature this on a positive note. And so I will be sharing the link to that to my profiles. Again, just look up my name on social media. I'll be sharing the links to that, so that way you can get your ticket to benefit face-to-face healing. And everyone, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, Zita, for making the time to be here today. As you know, the show is produced by Media the Creative Agency, which is the marketing agency that specializes in helping holistic wellness and beauty practitioners allow others to just live their best lives. Thanks again, Zita. Before we fully wrap up, I just wanted to remind you and give a final shout out to our sponsor, Black Aswad Coffee Co. Elevate your coffee experience with ethically sourced beans that taste amazing and support mental wellness. Grab your bag today at www.blackaswadcoffeeco.com and use code AWESOME15 for an exclusive offer.